Arbitrum is one of the most undervalued cryptocurrencies out there right now. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 different charts that show exactly what is going on with Arbitrum and why it is probably one of the best purchases in the top part of the crypto market. So do me a favor, hit that like button and let's dive into today's video. Now you're wondering, well, what is Arbitrum? Well, Arbitrum is a layer 2 for the Ethereum network, very much like Polygon that we know has already been around since the last bull market. Now, Ethereum, we know, is a very reputable and quality blockchain, layer 1 blockchain. However, due to the way that it's created, it comes with a number of issues. Whilst it's ultra secure and decentralized, it comes with a number of issues that are predominantly based around the speed of transaction and the cost of transaction. However, the Arbitrum layer 2 enables Ethereum to maintain its security and decentralization, being able to improve the speed by around 7x and reduce costs by around 7x as well. And how does it do that, you're asking? Well, Arbitrum is split into 2 parts, Arbitrum 1 and Arbitrum Nova. Now, Arbitrum 1 basically condenses a number of Ethereum transactions and it bundles them together in order to be more efficient. It then splits the cost of that transaction, which is obviously much quicker because it then moves together as one rather than having lots of different transactions. As well as that, it's reduced in cost because it then divides back the cost of all of the transactions amongst the different projects once more, and thus is more efficient and better priced. And then the Arbitrum Nova allows for even faster, cheaper transactions, however, does sacrifice a little bit in terms of the security. So depending on those types of transactions, that may be a better solution. But overall, Arbitrum is clearly a very interesting project. We know that Ethereum, whilst many don't like it, is still the king of the layer 1s, and therefore it's essential to have a decent layer 2 that can support it. Now, I've already talked about this before on this channel. If you were subscribed, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. TVL, total value locked, is an essential part of these crypto projects. Total value locked means coins that have been locked away on that particular platform, which enable for growth of the platform. It enables the price of the platform to be secured, and this makes for much better development in the future. What else is really essential about that is it also reduces the circulating supply and therefore driving down the amount of supply in the supply and demand model. Now, this ultimately is what drives the price of any asset, whether we're talking apples, whether we're talking Arbitrum, whether we're talking gold, whatever it is. Supply and demand controls everything. And if we look into this chart, you can see that Arbitrum has a larger total value locked than any other layer 2 out there, which is pretty impressive given that Polygon has been around for a significantly larger amount of time than Arbitrum. So ultimately, once we see the total value locked increasing, the supply drops down, and if the demand starts to creep back in with the rise of cryptocurrency markets, which we're anticipating now as Bitcoin moves up in the value and starts to pull the rest of crypto with it, then you're going to be ready for a very exciting time in Arbitrum. And you can see here, over $2 billion is locked in Arbitrum right now. What else is important? Well, right now, from the layer 2s or the Ethereum layer 2s, the volume that Arbitrum has is nearly 3 times bigger than that of Polygon's. It's only second in terms of its volume to Ethereum, which we know is the second largest cryptocurrency going. And so from that metric, we know that Arbitrum is sitting in a really good position. We know that we have huge total value locked. Next part, we know that there is a great volume going on within the Arbitrum network. Now, through Arbitrum, there is also the ability to do bridging, where you can bridge between Ethereum and Arbitrum, and through this, pay in ETH tokens. Now, again, it's important to notice here that the volume bridged in and out from Arbitrum is much higher than that of many others, including here, you can see Ethereum, BSC, and others. Now, obviously, we've got ZK Sync at the top here, but Arbitrum has 24 hours of deposits of $47 million, and then the withdrawals, $44 million. Obviously, that's a net flow in of $2.63 million. But it's really important that this is a chain that is getting used, okay? There's a lot of money flowing in and out of it. There is big things going on with Arbitrum, and it's very exciting to see. So in the last few weeks as well, Arbitrum is the most purchased of any of these altcoins. Now, I want you to look down that list and identify some of the altcoins on that list and see that it's just insane how much is being purchased into Arbitrum right now. Matic, Quick, Pepe, you got Linkcoin, Aave. These are absolute monster cryptos, guys, and they are being outdone here by Arbitrum. What is going on behind the scenes of Arbitrum? The big money is starting to notice what's happening in Arbitrum, and yet the price doesn't yet reflect it, and we'll be looking at the charts slightly later on to see whether or not it's a good purchase right now. Now, I know what many people will do is they'll come across to coin market cap, and they'll come down to the market cap, which here you can see is 1.4 billion, and then we'll come across to the fully diluted is $11.2 billion, and that is very big compared to the market cap. That means that there is a lot of circulating supply that's been locked away, and therefore the non-circulating supply will at some point be unlocked and create a massive amount of inflation in Arbitrum. But most importantly, there is not going to be any release on Arbitrum tokens until the 24th of March 2024. Now currently we're on the 11th of July, so that's like 3/4 of a year away. Okay, so 3/4 of a year away, which most people would just call 9 months. I'm not sure why I'm calling it 3/4 of a year, but you get what I'm saying, right? Arbitrum is not going to see a great deal of unlock until then. And what's really important about that is it creates, again, stability within the platform. So we have a massive amount of tokens being locked away, which is really positive, and it does encourage people to start to flow into the ecosystem because we know that Arbitrum is going to see a great deal of growth. We already know that it's being heavily utilized, and this is very important. Another very important thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that Nova is being used heavily within GameFi, and again, we're going to expect to see a big deal of growth in the second half of 2023 in the GameFi arena, in my opinion. Another important thing here is that Arbitrum is maintaining its balance with regards to its stablecoin market caps as people continue to use the ecosystem to stake their stablecoins. Another very important thing is that the market cap to total value locked ratio is less than 1. This, in contrast to Polygon, you can see at 6.57. Now, this is a very good thing because it means that there is further development on Arbitrum. We're about to see a great deal of growth. Now, it's interesting because given the time in the market right now, many coins are not really showing much growth, particularly around the same sort of market cap size as Arbitrum. But, this is a very exciting group of metrics that are showing some very bullish and exciting stuff coming up for Arbitrum. So diving across to Arbitrum over on Binance, what can we see? Well, Arbitrum has only been around since the 24th of March, okay, which is obviously the date of the unlock that's coming next year. Now, as you can see, that obviously on launch we had that big surge towards the upside, but that's ultimately a very positive thing. Now, if you see a top quality blue chip project do this on launch, there's a good reason behind it. It means that the pre-ICO investors, okay, the venture capital, have been locked in through a vesting schedule, okay, a very important thing. If you look at other projects that actually suck and they go in ICO, you buy it at the ICO, you know the deal where you buy in at ICO and it drops 90%. That's because you have bought a crappy project and you've not learned about the vesting schedules and found out all that information. If you want to understand a bit more about those vesting schedules, guys, then make sure you're subscribed, and we'll talk about that more over the next few weeks. As well as that, get in my free Telegram, link down below in the description. You can ask more questions about that. Now, what we can see that's going on this. Now, obviously, it's a very new chart. There's not a huge amount of information available to us here. But something that is very positive, if we make this our kind of zone of interest, is that we did come down below to this level here, and then we kind of get sucked up back through, okay? Now, what we do tend to notice, guys, when we get fake down towards the other side like this, is that we do tend to break in the opposite direction, because this is just a liquidity zone under here, and this is basically where large money comes to get their liquidity, and then they look to buy up, and that's why we get very aggressive price pushes that come out of these zones. Now, what is most notable, we have this as a shoulder, this, in my opinion, is a head, and if you were to draw this as a line across, you can see it's pretty perfect. I would say that this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern. You can see this diagram here of the inverse head and shoulders, and this has a breakout from the neckline of the height of the head, from here, you can see down here, to around here. Now, you're like, oh, well, that's no big deal, but that's from here around 41%. Now, bearing in mind where we are in the crypto markets right now, I do believe we are entering into a bull market. We are very, very early in projects like Arbitrum. We can see Polygon and what happened to Polygon during the first bull market that it went through. Now, Polygon obviously here sitting with a market cap around $7 billion, okay, which is bigger than Arbitrum's right now. But at the very highs, okay, we saw Polygon reaching a market cap of around $20 billion. That would indicate that Arbitrum could be seeing a 20x, maybe even higher, given that more people are flooding into the space, and Arbitrum is one of the top coins out there right now. Similar to Casper in terms of it being basically a blue chip project that has yet to kind of run through an exciting bull run. I think we're going to see some great growth from Arbitrum. Realistically, if we're aiming for a 20x in Arbitrum, I think that's realistic. I don't think that's too audacious to be making that as a price prediction, but obviously I could be wrong. Do your own research. Don't invest any money you can't afford to lose, especially off of my advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button for me. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Get into the free Telegram link down below in the description. Love to see you over there. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.